Today, Monday, the 2nd of September 2024, we have our hand-picked match prediction event to share with you, which will be backed up by some stats and analytics to help you make your picks in this list to boost your winning by a greater percent. And to those of you who want to have access to all our hand-picked match prediction events, which we share to members only, especially our list of top 10 over 1.5 and 2.5 goal match picks, straight win match predictions, and other events, which we give to member only, then of course you want to make sure to join to become a member of the Level 2 Pro plan and start to have access to all our hand-picked match prediction events to take your winning to the next level. To those of you who want to join, the link is below this video. You can click directly on it and join to start to have access to all our picks and take advantage of the huge odds and take your winning to the next height. So without wasting time, I'm going to begin with the first event of our today's list. Looking at the first event of our today's list, we are looking at Mexico in the Liga MX Women. A match between Pachuca Women against Mazatlan, that is Mazatlan Women. In this event, I first of all want to share with you the recent performance of the home team, Pachuca, comparing to that of its opponent. First, you're going to see that the recent performance of the home team based on recent result have shown a very amazing result. As you can see, 3-3, 1, 2, and 4. They are very offensive. And looking at that of its opponent, you can see that they do concede a lot. As you can see here, 6, 5, 1, and 2 based on recent event. Now, of course, looking at the performance of the home team based at home, you're going to see that the home team shows a very high level of offensiveness comparing to that of its opponent based on away gameplay. Now, looking at the stands based on this tournament, you're going to see that based on these two, the home team, which is Pachuca, shows a very good form, especially based on the form table. They sit on the third position and they have had 5 games event, having scored 13 goals and 2 conceded goals with all 5 wins, comparing to that of the away team, which sits on the 13th position of the form table, having conceded 15 goals in 5 matches, to tell us that they are very conceding. The performance of the home team based at home is very, very offensive and also very defensive. As you can see here, out of 3 events they have played at home, all the 3 wins, 7 goals scored and 1 goal conceded. At home, they are very defensive and they are very also good at scoring. But comparing to the performance of the away team, you're going to see that its away performance here, they are not good at scoring and they do concede at least 1 goal per every game. Now, of course, looking at everything in place, we are looking at 2 to 3 major picks here in full time. Looking at this particular event, the home team have shown a very great level of offense and also the possibility of them to score at least between 2 to 3 goals per every match. But looking at that of its opponent, they have proved to be a high conceding team. Also, looking at the last head-to-head this same year, which these two teams met, the home team, Pachuca, played away by that time and it lead by 5 goals to 0 against its opponent. This time, Pachuca is coming home and looking at its great performance based on recent events they have had, especially the home gameplay, they are very offensive. We still look at Pachuca to lead and we still look at the possibility of 1.5 goal in this event in full time as well as 2.5 goals in full time. Looking at the next, we still look at Mexico in the Liga MX Women, but this time a match between Tigres Women against Club Leon. First, the performance of the home team, Tigres, is very offensive. 6-3, 4-3, and 6 based on recent gameplay they have had. But that of its opponent, on the other hand, shows a very high level of conceding power and they are not good at scoring. The performance of Werder at home, that is Tigres, shows that they score at least between 3 to 4 goals per every match. 6, 4, 3, 3, and 4, as you can see here. But that of its opponent proved to concede 1 to 2 goals per every match in the recent gameplays they have had. Looking at the stands, this is the round 8 of this particular tournament, and looking at the performance of the home team based on form at home, you're going to see that Tigres proved to be a very offensive team and a very defensive team, especially at home. Having played 3 games, they have had 3 wins, their 12 goals have been scored, an average goal score rate of 4. But looking at that of its opponent based on the away play, you're going to see that they are not good. And here, you're going to confirm that they concede at least 1 to 2 goals per every game and they have not had any win based on the away game. Now, looking at everything in place, we want to look at two major picks here in full time. Looking at the offensive power of Tigres at home, especially, they are very, very offensive with an average goal score rate of at least 4 goals per every match based on the recent game plays they have had. But looking at that of the opponent, they prove to concede more and they are not offensive and they are also not defensive. And looking now at the last head-to-head this same year, which these two teams met, of course, there were a total of 9 goals. And of course, Tigres played at the way and it lead by 7 goals is to 2. This time, Tigres is coming home and still looking at the offensive power of Tigres. We still want to look at Tigres to lead as well as the possibility of 1.5 goal in full time as the possibility as well of 2.5 goals in full time. Looking at the next here, we are looking at England in the Professional Developmental League. That is Sheffield United U21 against Watford U21. For this event, the performance of Sheffield in recent gameplay they have had proved that they score at least between 1 to 2 goals per every game. You can see 1, 6, 1, 2, and 4, and they prove to show a good offense based on recent events. But that of its opponent as well, on the other hand, shows that they are average and they do concede as well. Now, the performance of the home team, Sheffield at home, proved that they score between 2 to 4 goals and even 6 goals per every match based on recent game they have just displayed here. But that of Watford, based on the recent event they have had, proved to concede goals more as compared to that of Sheffield. And looking at the stands here, you're going to see that based on stand, Sheffield proved to be a good team. Having played 3 games recently, they have had 2 wins, 8 goals scored, and 1 goal conceded. But now looking at the form, you're going to see Sheffield is having a best form here based on recent event they have played on the 1 game they have had at home. But now looking at overall, they have had 3 games, 2 wins, 8 goals scored, and 1 conceded. Very offensive and very defensive. And looking at everything in place, we are looking at 2 major picks here in full time. The performance of Sheffield based on recent events have proved that they are very offensive and very defensive. And looking at the gameplay they have had recently, they have shown a great performance as compared to that of its opponent. Now, of course, looking at the past head-to-head event, these two teams met this same year in the month of April. Sheffield played at home and it lead by 5 goals to 0. This time, Sheffield is still coming home. And looking at its performance based on recent events, they still have that high probability to lead as well as goals possibility. As a result, we want to look at 2 major picks here. The first, Sheffield to lead, and the second, the possibility of 1.5 going full time or 2 goals over. Looking at the next here, we are looking at Norway in Division 2, Group 2, a match between Tromsdalen against Valerenga. Looking at the performance of Tromsdalen, based on recent events they have had, they prove to be a very offensive team and they score at least between 2 to 3 goals per every match, as you can see here. That of Valerenga, on the other hand, also try to score between 2 to 3 goals per every match, even though they also do concede as well. Now, the performance of Tromsdalen, based on recent events they have had, especially at home, proved to be very offensive comparing to that of Valerenga at the way, which also scored a lot but also conceded at the same time a lot. The standing here will prove that based on the stand and form, you're going to see that Tromsdalen, which is the home team, based on the form, sits on the first position. Out of 5 events they have had 4 wins, up to 14 goals scored and 10 conceded. Very offensive and are not very defensive. Looking at that of its opponent as well, on the other hand, they are good at scoring and they do also very good at conceding. So these 2 teams are good at scoring and also good at conceding. And everything in place, we look at 2 to 3 major picks in this event in full time. Looking at this particular event, of course, the performance of both of these 2 have proved to be offensive and the defense is not that strong. And as a result, we also want to focus on the last head-to-head these 2 teams met in the month of June, where Valerenga play at home and Tromsdalen at the away. During this time, there were a total of 5 goals, Tromsdalen scoring 3 and Valerenga having 2 goals. This time, Valerenga is going away and Tromsdalen is coming home. And since the defense of both of these 2 is not very strong and the offense is good, we still want to look at goals possibility. As a result, 1.5 going full time or 2.5 goals in this event is our 2 major picks. Looking here at the next, we look at Germany in the Bundesliga women, a match between Wolfsburg against Werder Bremen. Of course, these 2 performance of the home team Wolfsburg have proved to be good, and they have mostly had games, especially in the club friendly, which they proved to be very good against Twente, Slava Prague, and Jena Women, as you can see here. Comparing to that of its opponent, who also proved to be very good, they have also had games mostly in the club friendly, as you can see here, and their performance have also been very amazing. Now, looking at the performance of Wolfsburg at home, you're going to see that every game they have had, especially the home game they have played recently, have proved to have between 2 to 3 and 4 goals per every game. That also of its opponent, on the other hand, based on the away, have also proved that they try to score between 2 to 3 goals as well per every event. And looking now at the stands based on this tournament, you're going to see this is the first round of this tournament, and this tournament is just starting. And these two teams are coming to meet each other again. As a result, we want to look at two major picks here in full time. Looking at this particular event, both of these two teams have shown to prove, that is, they have proved to be better teams in terms of performance in the recent game they have had, especially in the club friendly. While each of these two have proved to score at least between 2 to 3 goals per every match in the club friendly, showing a better performance, this time they are coming again to meet each other. And this tournament is just starting, and these two teams will still want to impress, so want to look at goals possibility. But before we go there, we want to look at the last head-to-head they had, where Wolfsburg met against this opponent, and there were a total of 3-0, where Wolfsburg lead and Wolfsburg actually played away. This time, Wolfsburg is coming home, and this is the start of this tournament. These two teams want to impress. So as a result, we still want to look at least 1.5 going full time or 2 goals over. Looking here at the next, we are looking at Sweden in the Allsvenskan Women, a match between Djurgarden Women against Hammarby. For this event, the home team proved to be very, very conceding, as well as also they scored at least between 1 to 3 goals per every event. That of its opponent, on the other hand, proved to be very offensive, 8, 3, 3, and 2, based on recent events they have had. Now, looking at the performance of the home team based on home game, they proved to be average, as you can see, based on recent events. But that of Hammarby, on the other hand, proved to be very offensive, especially when they have a away game to play. Looking at everything in place, first I will share with you the stands based on this tournament which is running, and the form will tell you that Hammarby proved to be a better team, and out of 5 events played, they have had 4 wins, 19 goals scored, and 2 conceded. Very offensive and very, very defensive. But that of its opponent, on the other hand, are not good at scoring in terms of form, and they are not also very defensive. And everything in place, we look at 2 major picks here in full time. Looking at this particular gameplay, Hammarby, on the other hand, have proved to be a very high offensive team in terms of recent form. But that of the opponent, which is the home team, have proved that they are not very good at scoring and the defense is not strong. Now, of course, the performance of this tournament based on recent events have proved that the away team shows a very high offense with an average goal score rate which is greater as compared to that of the home team. Now, of course, focusing at the last head-to-head which these two teams meet, Hammarby played at home and Djurgarden at away, and Hammarby lead by 4-1. This time, Hammarby is going away for this tournament, and since they are still coming to meet each other and Hammarby still have a very high offense, we still want to look at Hammarby to lead. And also, looking at the next year, we also want to look at the possibility of at least 1.5 or 2 goals over. These are some of our best hand-picked match prediction events we have to share with you. And we want to make sure that you look at least 2 to 3 odds per slip to boost your winning by a greater percent. But to those of you who want to have access to all our hand-picked match prediction events, which is upcoming for the weekend, which we have a very huge list, which we have prepared with greater odds, just as we did in this last week, then of course you want to make sure that you become a member of the Level 2 Pro plan and start to have access to all our hand-picked match prediction events, which we share to members only, as well as members only posts and tutorials. So you want to make sure that you join to become a member of the Level 2 Pro plan and start to have access to all of these features to take your winning to the next level. The link is below this video description. You can easily click on it to join and start to have access to all of these to take your winning to the next height. Good luck and see you again in the next upload, and bye-bye for now.